Hey guys, Craig over here at Willow Pond Alpacas, and so we're always trying to save a buck here and there where we can, and needed a manure spreader, so I found one on the Facebook Marketplace for $200. It's a new idea. I believe it's a 208. So as you can tell by looking at it behind me there, it's a pretty old machine, but the guy told me that it worked, so kind of took his word on it. Brought it home and just took the gamble on the $200, and I figured if nothing else it ends up a wood hauler, and so the tires hold air and it's structurally all there, so thought we'd take a chance on it. Well, got it home and fired it up, hooked it up to the old International, and lo and behold, the beater's going spin no problem, and the conveyor on there doesn't seem to want to move all the time. So I went and I opened up the gearbox in the back and took a look, and looks like we got a spring that's broken on it, so we're going to take a look at that. So this is a PTO driven unit, and as you can tell by the overall condition for its age, it's really not in too bad a shape. So you know, the tires hold air. I pulled it home probably about 15 miles. It's really, the structural portions of it really aren't too rusty. You got a little rust on the rails and such, and the boards are all there, and you know, our conveyor here is all there, so chains are all there, with the beaters on the back. They're in fair shape, I guess. You know, there's been a couple of welds and whatnot, but for the most part I think it'll do what I need it to do. So, but when I went to go fire it up, what I found was that it was not running the conveyor. At least it was kind of erratic, so I took a closer look, and this is what I found. So this little cog right here, this is actually supposed to be the drive for the gear. So as this deal here, you can kind of see it's on a gear that's offset, so it's going to go basically up and down, and as this is going up and down like so, it'll go down, and then as it goes in that upward motion, it's this beater, this guy here, this little cog, should engage this gear and push it upwards like that. Then you got another cog here, and you can see this one is spring loaded as it should be, and that keeps it basically from going backwards, holding in place. But this one here, if you look at it, it's actually just kind of flopping around there, and that's what it was doing, is it was basically just flopping around here as the machine was running, and kind of hard to get in there and show you here, but there you go. So you can kind of see it just kind of flopping around in there. You know what it is, if you look really close, you'll see in here, this thing right here is the end of a spring, so the other end of it is broken. So we've already unbolted it, so we'll just pull that out and kind of take a look at it. So here you can see it. You got the spring. Take it apart a little bit further here, and you see that spring. This is called a torsion spring. It's broken off right there. So what it's supposed to do is, when you look inside of here, this spring right here, you see a little crook on that, is supposed to hit on that rod right there, and then the other portion would go, and it would, you can actually even see the groove where it sat right on there, and it sat there, and it would hold that cog in place like so. And so that is broken, and you know, I suppose I could go and try to find the part online or such, but I really want to get this thing going actually, so I can get my manure spread and tilled into the garden. So I went ahead and fashioned up something. So let's see here, where did I do with that? So what I needed was some spring metal. So this is actually a saw blade. If you look at this, it's actually made out of spring metal. So that's what I decided to use to try to fashion something here. So what the plan is we're going to go ahead and put this thing all together like so. Get this in, this bushing in here. We'll put this through like so. And so you can kind of see here, it's got that spring tension like this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and stick that in there and see if that'll work. And it might be just a temporary fix, but if it lasts, I guess it'll work for me. So go ahead and get her in there and see what happens. Okay, so I got her all put together in there. As you can see, my little hacksaw mod spring is all in there, bolted together. And I don't know if can't really get any leverage on there to show you that it does have spring, but it does definitely have a lot of spring tension on there. And I think it's going to work just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and fire her up here and see if she works. Walk over to the old International here. Make sure she's in neutral. Turn the key on. Go ahead and hit the PTO. Well, she's definitely going. Fling some leaves here. Looks like this chain has got a little bit of rust on it and it's not quite flexing yet. A little bit of use ought to take care of that. When you look on the inside here, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do there. That, my friends, is a little bit of farmer ingenuity, even from a beginning farmer.